Outfits from the 2006 movie Marie Antoinette, written and directed by Sofia Coppola and starring Kirsten Dunst. This movie is based on a book called Marie Antoinette, The Journey by Antonia Fraser. We'll be showcasing the outfits worn by Kirsten Dunst in this movie. Some of the outfit designs, cut, style, and adornments are quite accurate reconstructions of Queen Marie's original 18th century garments, although other features of the design such as their colors aren't as accurate. Most of these costumes are from the Rococo era. According to Wikipedia, Rococo fashion was based on extravagance, elegance, refinement and decoration. Women's fashion of the 17th century was contrasted by the fashion of the 18th century, which was ornate and sophisticated, the true style of Rococo. Based on a lecture by Christopher Moscato at study.com, Rococo fashion followed the wealth and ornamentation of Baroque fashion but none of its solemnity. The Rococo was the era from roughly 1720 to 1789, when the French aristocracy began to obsess over their wealth and finery. France was divided between the lavishly dressed ruling class and the impoverished peasantry. The Rococo was, therefore, the last truly aristocratic style of France. When it was rejected, the entire aristocracy was rejected with it. Rococo designs. The Rococo was actually in itself an artistic movement, which in addition to fashion, also included art, architecture, and theater. The Rococo era emerged after the more serious and grand Baroque era, which is characterized by extreme ornamentation to display solemn power. The Rococo, however, did not continue with the solemnity of the Baroque, but carried along the aspects of wealth and decoration of the Baroque. Rococo designs are typically lavishly ornate, with pretty yet complex patterns using fine materials. Common color palettes were pastels. Their designs were whimsical with organic motifs. Rococo fashion reflects the taste for all things fancy. Rococo outfits were typically looser and laid back compared to the stiffer and formal earlier Baroque styles. Some clothes that used to have only be worn in private during the previous era are now worn in public. Take for instance, the negligée, which at the time was a type of mourning robe, began to be worn outside the house. Eventually, these were turned into loose robes which were worn over dresses or skirts and hanging off the shoulders. Dresses, however, still utilize corsets, bodices, and hoop skirts to emphasize the wearer's silhouettes. The loose and informal style in the early Rococo subsequently became more ornate as finer materials and more decorative designs were utilized during the late 18th century. Rococo fabrics were refined but airy, typically taffeta silks in pastels. Fur-trimmed robes and dresses, and flowered, organic details were common. Use of wigs continued on from the earlier Baroque era but usually replaced by pinned-up natural hairdos, which were powdered to look gray or white. Exquisite dainty jewelry of playful gold or pearl designs complemented the looks. Thank you for watching. Please like and sub.